Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. So if you've ever priced out a deluxe Disney resort and then immediately closed out of the tab just because of the price, you're not alone. Some Disney Deluxe resorts can cost over $1,000 a night, especially during busy holiday seasons, but there's a legit way to stay at these resorts for significantly less. And that's exactly what I've been doing since 2018. So in today's video, I'm gonna show you exactly how to go through the process of booking DVC points through DVC Rental Store, and DVC stands for Disney Vacation Club. I'll explain why we continued doing this year after year, including as recently as January 2026, where after renting for the final time, we decided to take the plunge and purchase the DVC contract, and everything that I wish I knew before booking that first trip with DVC Rental Store. Because if you're planning a Disney vacation, this could save you hundreds, if not thousands of dollars. So before we jump into renting the points, let's chat a little bit about what Disney Vacation Club actually is. And again, I'll say it as DVC because it's just DVC. It's easier to say than Disney Vacation Club every single time. So DVC is Disney's vacation ownership program. It's basically like a timeshare, but when you think of a timeshare in any other place, usually you have your apartment, whereas DVC is more of like a bank of points. So for example, we just purchased a contract for 300 points. So we get 300 points per year to basically use how we see fit. So for example, we are staying at Animal Kingdom Lodge Kidani next week, or when this video goes out, most likely we will be just coming back from the trip. And for a studio room, which is basically just a regular hotel room, 2 beds, the bathroom, but you have basically a little kitchenette. So it's like microwave, toaster, an actual mini fridge instead of a beverage cooler. That is, I think, a little under 200 points for a 7-day stay. And because we did the contract with my parents, so we split everything. So that helps with the cost a little bit, but we usually get a 2-bedroom villa. So it's almost like set up like an apartment style where it's a bedroom on each side, a master bedroom with their own bathroom, kitchen, living room, balcony, and then on the other side is the other room with the double beds and the bathroom. Now, I explain all this because when you use DVC points, you're just getting a room in their lodge or in the hotel. You're not getting that same room every single year. This is not your room. This is not your condo. You're just basically, Disney gives you a gift card, so to speak, and you can use those points however you want in any of their deluxe resorts that you want at any time of the year. But sometimes DVC owners can't use all their points for that year, so they turn to these companies, DVC Rental Store, and they rent out those points to regular people just like you and me. So instead of trying to find somebody to take your points and pay for your points, DVC acts as the middleman, helping connect renters with DVC owners while handling the booking process. And for us, since 2018, that peace of mind has been worth it every single time. So going back to 2018, I was with my husband, who was my boyfriend at the time, but I was just going on vacations with friends and with my parents. Side note, I grew up going to Disney every year. I come from a Disney family and I am a Disney adult. So I knew going into whoever was going to be my spouse that if they weren't already a Disney adult, I was going to turn them into one. And suffice it to say, I have done it. My husband was actually the one that came up with the idea of purchasing a DVC contract. I wasn't even the one to bring it up, but that's a story for another video. The point is, we wanted to stay at Disney's deluxe resorts because I grew up staying at the value and moderate resorts, my whole life, and I never got to experience deluxe resorts, and I knew there was a way to do it. But paying for the deluxe room rates, like rack rates, there's what they call them, it was just totally out of budget. So I started doing research and I came across Disney Vacation Club Rental Store. And I was skeptical at first because honestly, it sounds too good to be true. But I'm so glad that I continued using DVC Rental Store. And DVC Rental Store is actually the only company that I've used. There are some other ones out there that kind of work in the same way. But once I used DVC Rental Store, I just stuck with them because their customer service is exceptional and just the process is really seamless. Anyway, I've been able to save a significant amount of money staying at these beautiful deluxe Disney resorts, multiple of them. I've stayed at multiple now, saving a lot compared to booking with Disney directly. So the first step is deciding where you want to stay. And my favorite part about renting the points is that you have access to some of the most popular Disney properties. I'm talking like Animal Kingdom Lodge, where you're gonna have giraffes, out of your balcony. BoardWalk villas or Beach Club villas, which is walking distance to Epcot. Polynesian or Grand Floridian villas, which is walking distance to Magic Kingdom. And Bay Lake Tower, which is part of the Contemporary, walking distance to Magic Kingdom. Or Old Key West and Saratoga Springs, which Saratoga Springs is our home resort, and that is walking distance to Disney Springs, which I love. So you have to think about what matters most to your family. Do you want to be walking distance to Epcot? Do you want to be close to Magic Kingdom? Do you want to have the incredible dining options at Disney Springs just a walk away? Choosing the right resort is almost as important as choosing your park days and your lightning lanes or fast passes, whatever they call them now. So once you've narrowed down, I would say your top 3 choices for resorts, and it's gonna come in soon why I say top 3. Head over to DVC Rental Store. You're gonna enter your travel dates, your resort choices, the room type, and the number of guests. And now I say room type because the main reason why we have continued to do DVC like rental store and renting the points is because we always travel with my parents. So we are always going to need big rooms. I'm saying like 2-bedroom villas because my parents stay in one room, me and my husband and the kids stay in the other. We have a central gathering place of the living room, and we have a full kitchen setup, like full fridge, full stove, microwave, an island, all of that. Which came in clutch when the kids were really little, like babies, and I needed to make formula, I needed to make, baby food, and we needed to have yogurts and chocolate milk and everything in the fridge ready for them. So having the options available to me of being able to rent, just a regular hotel room now that they're older and I don't need a full kitchen setup, or when that time came, where we want to do and be together a 2-bedroom villa, the options are there for you. So anyway, going back to the process. If your requested reservation is available, DVC Rental Store will work with the Disney Vacation Club owner to secure your reservation first using their points. If your first choice isn't available, they will help you kind of go through the options. This has happened to me on a couple occasions when we were looking at very busy times, like holiday time, stuff like that. Sometimes you will not get your first choice, so making sure you have backups is key. But the one thing that is most important is booking as early as possible. And in this case, that means 11 months out from your travel date. Exactly. I'm talking exactly 11 months out. That is when the booking window opens for the DVC owner to book their home resort. So once your reservation is available, you'll receive the quote. And this is honestly one of my favorite parts because you can truly see the price difference or the cost difference between renting the DVC points and what it would cost on the Disney website. And for me, seeing that is just like wild and mind-blowing, to be honest. So after reviewing everything, you'll complete your reservation through DVC Rental Store, and they will take care of the coordination with the DVC owner on their end. It's just a really straightforward process coming from like the customer side of it. And one question I get all the time, especially now that we've told people that we are DVC owners, is, are these different rooms than what regular people are staying in? And the answer is yes and no. So yes, it's different than a regular hotel room, whereas, like I said, you get a little kitchenette, so it's like a microwave, a toaster, a sink in the room, like a wet bar, and the little mini fridge. It's not a beverage cooler, it's actually a mini fridge. And depending on what you request, you can do a studio, which is like a regular hotel room with 2 beds. There's 1-bedroom villas, there's 2-bedroom villas, and there's grand villas, which can fit like 16 people, I think. And one day I will get there, but today is not that day. So like I said, many of them include kitchenettes, full kitchens, extra storage, larger than usual bathrooms, and in most cases, washers and dryers, which is huge when you have toddlers and little kids and everyone is sweating their butts off every day. So those features alone have made a huge difference when it comes to staying longer, like 7-day stays, and then traveling with grandparents like we do. We need those bigger spaces to handle our family. So there are a few things that I think everyone should know when booking through DVC Rental Store or just renting DVC Points in general. First is that reservations are generally more restrictive than if you were to reserve directly through Disney. So be sure you understand the cancellation terms when you're booking, because a lot of the time it is non-refundable, or if it is refundable, it's like store credit basically. So like you still have to use them eventually. Just make sure you look and understand the terms of that. Second thing is that because the DVC owner is making the reservation for you, name changes and guest changes and stuff like that are very limited. And finally, like I said before, book early. I cannot stress that enough. Popular resorts and popular travel dates are going to go quickly because other DVC owners who are just looking to travel, for themselves and not rent points are going to be booking up their home resorts 11 months out. So planning ahead gives you the best chances of getting exactly what you want. And I'm talking exact room type and exact resort that you want. So is renting DVC worth it? For us, absolutely yes. After renting DVC Points every year, sometimes multiple times a year since 2018, there is no other way I would rather vacation, and that is exactly what brought us to the point of purchasing our own DVC contract earlier this year. I mean, we've stayed at incredible resorts, beautiful accommodations, beautiful rooms, the 2-bedroom villas that like you can't even wrap your mind around that exists in Disney World. And on top of that, saved money compared to booking directly with Disney. So if you've been dreaming about staying at a deluxe Disney resort, but is what you found way out of budget for you, renting DVC Points might be the way to go. If you're interested, I'll leave my DVC Rental Store affiliate link down below so you can click through and kind of look at pricing and see if you're interested and if it matches, kind of what you're looking for in your next trip. So if you found this video helpful, don't forget to give it a like, subscribe to see my future stuff. Like I said, we are staying for the first time on our own DVC Points at Animal Kingdom Lodge, Kidani Village, this week, or whenever this video goes out, we might already be home, but I am super excited. It's kind of like our welcome home stay is what they call it when you go and stay for the first time using your own DVC Points. So stay tuned for more footage and more videos about this, because this is something that I never thought would happen in my lifetime. I never thought I was going to be a DVC owner. I would always, see and hear other people and say that they're DVC owners, and I'm like, ooh, you're fancy, huh? But when you break down the cost, how much you're saving over the next 30 years of your life, if you plan on going to Disney every year, multiple times a year, not even once a year, but once a year will break even after about 5 years. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself because this is all going to be in another video. But I'm just so excited because we leave in a couple days. But anyway, let me know in the comments, what is your favorite deluxe Disney resort? And I'm talking deluxe only. Or what one is at the top of your wish list or the top of your bucket list if you haven't stayed at any yet? Or just let me know if you have stayed at any value or moderate resorts, like if you love Port Orleans Riverside, or if you love Port Orleans French Quarter, which is my favorite underneath deluxe ones, or Art of Animation. My kid loves Lightning McQueen. When we stayed there last, 2 years ago, he was obsessed seeing Lightning McQueen in real life, like being able to walk up to him, the little statues that they have in the courtyards. That was, definitely a core memory for me, even though, he might not remember it if he was only 2.5 years old, but mom and dad are going to remember it for sure. So thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.